Shadow Knight Society, this question goes for all of you, even Sack. Amongst all Honour Amongst Thieves characters, who would you not want to be stuck with on an island, and who would you want to be stuck with on an island?
Santiago, I don't want to be anywhere near Santiago. He's a terrifying person.
Richard, you disappeared.
Richard cut out.
Yeah,
But,
I'll transfer that out. Carry on.
Alright,
Okay.
have fun.
Yeah, as much as I love to voice Santiago, I want nothing to do with him. As
Well, at
for
least
who would I...
If you're the voice, then you can pretend to be him with someone else, you know?
Oh, yeah, right. And then who would I want to be stuck with? I don't know, it's hard to decide because, while I like Louis, I'm thinking about, you know, if I have to be with them forever, who would be the one that I would be less likely to be tired of? And maybe James. I think James would warm up to me after, you know, a couple of years. So,
Hopefully by then you're off the island.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. So I'd go with James.
James.
Yeah, you choose James as your volleyball? We want to be
That's my-
second. Yeah.
Yeah, that's my Wilson. Yeah. James!
Wilson! Sorry.
I know what you're talking about.
I think it would take James if we're all stuck on a desert island together or something like that, it would take James a lot longer to get used to Santiago. Just so, you know, he's just solid hate. And
You
whereas
draw a line
Louis,
in the sand. That's your side.
yeah, no.
No.
And whereas Louis is you know, a massive part of him is love, but it's a strange sort of love.
Dr. Strangelove.
So I suppose if I had to pick one, it would have to be Louis. I suppose.
I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think no one wants to be on the island with Santiago. But I would want to be on the island with James because James would probably be able to figure out how to get us off the island.
This is
Right,
true.
Absolutely.
Probably by burning all the rum.
Louis would sooner make a home for himself on the island.
Yeah.
You're still trying to get off the island.
This is my hammock. Go away. No, you cannot use it for firewood.
He makes rope out of his hair. No, wait, that would involve cutting it off.
No.
Give me a couple more years when it's twice this length and we can cut off the second half.
Yeah.
Then make rope.
I don't want to get my nails dirty.
Yeah, my answer is the same. Would not want to be stuck with Santiago because he would probably preach to me.
This is God's judgment.
We deserve this punishment! Oh, God.
Why try to escape?
Yeah. But I would want to be stuck with Louis because he would make getting stranded on an island a really fun thing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's play volleyball with coconuts! I think the video stopped for a second. But it's back! Okay. From BillyBones0704 to Sack, why pirate genre, inspiration and motivations, ? Okay, good thing I made notes. I chose pirate because piracy works well as a metaphor for freedom, which is what Louis represents. The historical setting in the Caribbean, it sets the stage ideally for the other conflicting factions that I introduce later, such as government and religion, because during the high time of piracy, there were a lot of political and religious shifts going on.
Yeah.
And also, I just really love pirates, because after I saw Pirates of the Caribbean in, like, 2004, there was just no going back.
Yeah.
From that, it was like, I was like, okay, it's a pirate phase. Like, 5 years later, it's still a pirate phase! And then, of course, the character of Louis was also inspired by Adamant's Stand and Deliver, which is about a dandy highwayman. And he's also inspired by King Louis XIV of France, which is the Baroque era, and all those are kind of in and around the whole pirate era, and they have a lot of pirate imagery, so it was natural development from there. And ironically, Richard is the one who introduced me to Adamant 5 or 6 years ago, which led to the creation of Louis, which led to the development of Honour Amongst Thieves, which led to the creation of James, and which led to Richard now voicing James. You created
So really, we
your
have Richard to
mortal
thank
enemy.
for everything. Richard.
High reception.
Richardception.
Richard within a
Never mind.
Hi, how you doing?
Amazing.
Yeah,
Amazing.
that's
Thank you.
wonderful.
Thank you for asking.
From Frey Delise, what has your experience writing a story been? Long and difficult, but LaSalle puts particular emphasis on story writing and concept. So, because basically they have this mentality of anybody can learn to animate and anybody can learn to use a certain program if you give them enough time, but coming up with a clever new story is a lot more challenging, and I'll say yes, it definitely is. But I think that this story is more successful because it wasn't just my efforts with it, because every time I got stuck, we would have those group chats and group calls, and everybody was bouncing ideas back and forth, and I'm just lucky that I found voice actors, and you all really understand the characters, you know, so I can run up against a wall and go, I had no idea what Santiago or James and Louis would do, and you guys are like, well, how about this, because I think it would do this, and then it's made the final product very different from what it was before, which I'm very glad for, actually. But I mean, it wasn't just the input from the voice actors, it was feedback from some people at LaSalle, but it was also feedback from DeviantArt, because right from the beginning I was putting up like color swatches and character development, and people would give feedback and I would read it and go, you know, I don't agree with you, but I can see where you're coming from, or maybe you have an interesting point that I didn't realize before. Someone made an interesting comment about Louis' eyeshadow when I was trying to decide what color, and they said, you know, blue is historically accurate, red suggests lust, but subtly. You know, it's on his face and you wouldn't think, but like now you're looking at his eyes because they've got this red thing, and also it could be a kind of tip of the hat to his constant irritation and flirting with James, which I didn't think of, but you know, good point. Yeah. But I consider this, it reminds me a bit of like role-playing characters. The characters become more well-rounded when they're interacting with others, and so the characters are now more realistic and deep because of all of this combined effort, for which I am very thankful to you all.
Glad to be of service.
Thank you, yes.
That'll be $5.
From Reda Die, lesbian pirates, that's not a question, just want to know everyone's reaction to that. Had too many questions in my mind to actually decide upon one of them. So.
I dig it.
Huh?
Yeah, I'm down. Yeah.
Down with lesbian pirates.
Yeah.
I'm processing the thought. Yes. Okay. I'll get back to you on that one. It's going to take a little while
I'll
to
be
just
in
sort
the
of
bunk.
filter through.
I'll be in my
Yeah.
bunk.
Yeah. Actually, I think that's a historical fact, isn't it?
Yeah, I think, according to history, pirates had one of the first forms of gay marriage.
Oh.
Yeah, because the gents would decide who on their crew they wanted their loot to go to if they died in battle.
Oh, okay.
Because they're all bros. So there was some form of, And
Hello,
then Anne
Paul.
Bonny and Mary Read, I believe, are believed to be...
Bonnie and Clyde.
No, Anne Bonny and Mary Read.
Oh.
Anne Bonny was together with Calico Jack, but she ran into... Was it Mary? Yeah, and then she ran into Mary Read,
I have
who
no
was
idea what you're talking
she was a
about.
female pirate who pretended to be a male.
Okay.
And then the two of them went on lots of pirate raids, and even though Anne Bonny was with Calico Jack, who was a guy, it's rumored that they were also lesbians together.
Huh.
Yeah. I mean, it is a small boat, anyway.
Small world.
Yeah.
Anything could happen.
So, you, lesbian pirates?
Is it?
Yeah, okay. All 4 lesbian pirates!
Yeah.
Yep. Ara sends, Louis never seems to get frazzled. Does anything make him speechless? Okay, I had an answer to this one. And then you can have yours.
Yes, please.
Okay, Louis generally has a comeback for everything. He's not had the easiest upbringing, and he's learned to cope with life by seeing the good in everything, or seizing the moment, or taking advantage of a situation. There are certain people and things that can make him flip out, and there are some times that it happens, but I'm keeping that particular detail quiet because it's a key incident in what I hope will become a larger graphic novel story to explain all the characters.
Yeah.
It happens really badly in that version,
No,
which you know about.
Yeah, I do know about it, and I mean, the only thing I would contribute to that is just as a character and my understanding of his brain is that he's a tough person, but people get tough because they are hurt, you know, and so of course there are things that make him flip out, and there are buttons that you can press that will always tick him off, and sometimes he's ticked off by things but doesn't show it, and will continue to be playful and kind and sweet in his devilish way, but yeah, when he loses his shit, he loses his shit, just like everyone else. But I mean, because he's him, I imagine it would be volcanoes of just rage, and I definitely imagine that he could get pretty angry. But I'm not always sure for what. You know,
Didn't we explore the idea that Louis he dropped the, how do you say it? He dropped the gayness. You know, he dropped that when he got really angry.
Yeah.
He just went, right, that's it. This is down. This is pure. Let's fight anger. I can't even
and that's what I
keep
mean.
up this pretense anymore. Not that it's pretense. You know, this sort of act that he personifies and keeps up as part of his shield.
Well, I mean, part of why he does that is like, you know, if he wants to really irritate James, then he'll amp up the floppiness, you know, because of course that irritates James, so then he'll really amp it up, and it irritates Santiago, so he'll amp it up. But if you step on his toes, it's just like,
Yeah.
From Altair Rest, what was your favorite subject in school?
I'd say just English, I guess. Probably English. Writing, that sort of thing. Yeah.
Richard?
Sorry, I'm just trying to make my video better, but I don't think it's going to.
It looks perfectly fine.
It's
It looks
fine.
okay. Yeah.
You
Yeah,
look
but does
gorgeous,
it
honey.
just went dark there. Is that right?
Yeah,
But
I
then
think
it
it's
goes
the
back,
lighting.
though.
Yeah.
Ah, right. School subject, art. That was what was my favourite thing, really. Always was, just drawing.
Well, you are very
yeah.
good at it, and puppet making, and statue
Yeah,
making.
that came
and
later.
costume making.
Model making, and but it was art and I was very encouraged by some of my early teachers who just when you get a good teacher, it's great, isn't it?
Yeah.
You just get someone who encourages you, and yep.
Art, yeah, for me too. Visual art. Music class has never been something I've liked a lot. Math, for some weird reason. Because of the teacher. The teacher was so good. And English is horrible. But, yeah, art and math.
Yeah, for me, art, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
But the funny thing with me was art in IB was kind of not at all what I wanted to do, because it was more the fine art section. It was, explore deeper meaning and do lots of research and go out of your comfort zone, blah, 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 blah. And they didn't like it when I did cartoons and comics and all that stuff. But, you did it. And now I can say I've tried oil paints, and now I have a reason as to why I will never try oil paints again. That was, it was a very stinky art room too. Kind of sucked.
Oh yeah.
It's okay.
I have,
It's very specific, very skilled artwork.
I did a lot of...
I can't do it. I can't. So I've got a friend who paints in oils, and it's very, very impressive. So
I couldn't do painting. What I wound up doing instead was just a lot of models out of wire. So I'd do wire sculptures, and then I would try putting paper mache or mod rock on it, Modrock was really, really heavy. I have memories of being at school at 4 a.m. in the morning rushing to finish my project, and I was supposed to make a massive chest burster from Alien out of wire, and they cover it in Modrock and then paint it. And so I'm in there at 4 in the morning watching Alien on my laptop, and it's pitch black in that room. There is a little halo of light around me, and I'm working, and then something in the back of the classroom goes like, like scuttles away, and I'm just there like, oh shit, I'm gonna die. Yeah. But it's okay. Mine was the only alien.
There was none in the room.
I checked.
I made sure.